We're going to review finding an unknown angle using sine law as well. So in this particular instance, it tells us that we have an acute triangle. It's called GHK. So we're going to draw a triangle. We're going to call it GHK. So let's call it G, H, and K. Again, we know that we have to label the triangle in such a way that the opposite side from the angle is the same letter, okay, but lowercase. So I'm going to quickly put those values in as well. Okay. So it tells me in the question that angle G is 47 degrees. So I'm going to put in 47 degrees. It tells me that the length of side H is 5 centimeters. And it tells me that the length of side G is 4 centimeters. Let's draw the diagram, which we've done. We've labeled it with all the necessary information. And we need to find the measure of the indicated angle to the nearest degree. Well, in this case, the indicated angle is H. We don't know what angle H is going to be. So we're trying to figure out angle H. Okay? We don't know what that is. However, we do know enough information in order to use it. We know nothing about angle K or side length K, but that's okay. That is perfectly all right because when we're using the sine law, we only need two parts. We don't need all three pieces of the sine law. So just by a quick way of example, the sine law for this particular one would be G over sine G is equal to H over sine H, which would be equal to K over sine K. Again, you don't have to actually write out K over sine K because there's no information. And so it's not particularly helpful to write out K over sine K. So you only need to have two pieces. Now let's substitute in the values that we know. We're looking for angle H. We don't know what that is, but we do, however, know angle G and the length of side G and the length of side H. So if we substitute in the length of side G, we know that's 4 centimeters. We know that angle G is 47 degrees. We know that the length of side H is 5 centimeters. And we don't actually know what angle H is, and that's what we're trying to figure out. So just like we've done multiple times, we've got a proportionality statement here. So we have a proportion, rather not a proportionality statement, but we have a proportion that we can use by solving with cross multiplying. So we're trying to get side, or trying to find out what sine H is going to be. So when we cross multiply, we end up with 4 times sine H, which is going to be equal to 5 times sine 47. Okay. Now again, I'm trying to get sine H all by itself on the left-hand side. Okay, and right now it's being multiplied by 4, so I'm actually going to divide both sides by 4. So if I divide both sides by 4, I can eliminate those two 4's and just be left with sine H on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And I also would like to know what the right-hand side of the equal sign is going to equal. So I'm going to do 5 times sine 47 and divide that by 4. And that's going to equal approximately 0.9142. Okay, so I'm going to 4 decimal places, and I strongly encourage you to do that as well. Now, I want to get that H value all by itself, and right now it's being affected by the sine function, so I need to do the opposite operation of sine. So again, the opposite operation of sine is inverse sine. So I'm going to do sine inverse sine H. And if I've done sine inverse on the left-hand side of the equal sign, I must also do it on the right-hand side because we have to have that balance. So 9142. And so I know that inverse sine and sine are going to actually cancel each other out. So I'm just left with h on the left-hand side. And now I want to figure out what the inverse sine of 0.41, sorry, 9142 is. Okay, and that's going to equal approximately 66 degrees. Okay, so same process, same formula, okay, in order to solve for an unknown angle. So in this case, our h angle is 66 degrees.